Oh, it's blue. We're just at London City Airport car hire. And Kathleen is changing into her driving shoes.
Very important part of the driving process.
Do we know where we're going? Hever Castle and Gardens. Do you know about the history of Hever Castle?
Hever Castle. I believe it's a Tudor. It's one of the Tudor foundations built in the 1540s.
But who was it most famous for housing?
That would...
Yeah, thank you, Kathleen.
I think Arrogant was there as well, wasn't she?
I was just asking Harry, because Harry is one of the few people whose knowledge on medieval history probably exceeds my own. And that is very impressive.
That's Tudors, 16th century.
That's true.
Medieval.
I would say that medieval becomes Renaissance during the Tudor period. Because I would say that Henry VII is probably a medieval monarch, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no,
a Renaissance monarch. Yeah.
So I think disagree with that.
Because the issue is that in high school you learn about medieval and then you learn about Tudors. But actually, I would say the cut-off line is probably around about 1529 when the Reformation really kicked off on English soil.
Yeah, 1533, Act of Restraint of Appeals.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But then, like, Henry VIII's foreign policy is very medieval.
It was very medieval.
So that continues throughout his life.
But he had that when he had that jousting injury. I imagine his priorities probably changed a little bit.
1530. Well, so there's a good paper on whether that affected his descent into tyranny.
Yeah.
There's a brilliant hunting lodge about 10 minutes walk from where my parents live, which was being built for Henry, but by the time it was finished, he'd had his accident and couldn't hunt anymore. So he went up there still, and he went to this like fence, which is still there today, where they would drive tame deer past the fence for him to shoot with a crossbow.
That's very, very sad.
Yeah.
There was this guy, right, who was pretty big in York. In fact, he was like really in charge, and he had like an army of 1,000 men, right?
Yeah.
But he was marching off to battle up a hill. Then he realised, I forgot my keys, so he had to march them all back down again.
He did. But it was everyone had a good time.
The name of this castle is Hever Castle.
Wait, to the right.
Hever Castle and Gardens. Yeah, it's right. It's here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way. You're on the right track.
Wait, Rachel.
Yeah.
What castle and gardens?
Hever.
Hardly know her. Do we to put you in a mud bath?
Of course, anytime.
Of course is a great answer to a question. Can we do a game which is of course is now yes?
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so no is fine, but of yes is now of course always.
Okay.
Of course.
Is this Hever Castle?
Of course.
That's so funny.
Did he really die of love?
He really did.
All on account of a cruel little hen?
Of course.
This guy's cool. I like this guy's hand motions.
And
Hey! Ooh.
We are setting up in the Festival Theatre at Hever Castle, which is a trip for me because I used to work here in visitor services like another life ago. And then I was also swanning around dressed as Anne Boleyn here as well. So it's like my two lives have merged and I'm back here doing what I love doing and performing. So yay for me.
They should come together. I'm currently doing the worst repair job I've ever done in my life. Oh my god, I've ended up with... this is meant to be like the gusset of a pair of trousers, and I've ended up with a little weird lumpy bit. Fingers crossed it's not going to look too crazy on stage.
Okay, so always when I come to Hever, I have a minor injury. Last year I burnt myself on a clothing steamer. This time I got out of the car and
Oh no!
over tipped, and there's mostly my trousers.
Can you do a reconstruction of the way that you fell over?
Well, I feel like it was like this, but actually it can't have been because I had it on my knee. So it must have been more like.
That's good. So we are all set up in the theatre in record time. That took less than an hour. So yeah, we're doing good. I'm just off to the toilet. And the piano now has sound. So that's good. You see, we've got this down to a fine art now. We are pretty good at getting in to Hever Castle. And just as a reminder how beautiful this place is. Oh, nice gardens. It smells good too. Is this your first time at Hever Castle?
It's my second time at Hever Castle. And
Because you came to do HMS Pinafore?
I came to HMS Pinafore.
You did? Yeah. So I always think that it's April and Jamie doing Hever.
I was in Pinafore.
Yeah,
in
of
Pinafore.
course you were.
Yes.
I always forget that Robin was in Pinafore because Robin just like heard me saying I need a soprano during like a rehearsal for a different show. Was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, and it worked out all right.
Great. So how it's going so smoothly, isn't it?
Going shockingly smoothly,
Suspiciously
worryingly
so.
smoothly.
Yeah, it's always suspicious when there's not any like big crisis or stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see somebody running.
It could be,
No,
it could be a crisis.
I never like to see people running. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that. That's good.
Kind of like hunters, but not yeah, like secret hunters. Yeah. Stealthy hunters. Imagine we are wearing a hood. Yeah, yeah. Okay, right.
I think that whatever you do, be good. What do you think?
Somebody said, I've seen the Mikado performed several times by the ENO at the Coliseum. This is so much better.
That's going straight
That
on
needs
me.
to be a quote.
I must make sure I put that on.
I said that in the 5-star review. Though.
Yeah.
This is not the outpost of the ENO.
At the Coliseum, yeah.
Well, there you
Show I've
go.
ever seen.
This is the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I need proof
there's
of this.
several of them.
This audience club.
It's really small, you can't really see.
Ah,
But,
okay,
but
yeah.
there's several of them that are like, and Audrey just messaged them to say, oh, I want to share with you because they're making me cry, they're so good.
Oh my god.
It's so sweet, yeah.
Just out in the middle of the lake, there is a little coot making its nest. And I managed to get a mint chopped chip ice cream that is vegan, which is really good. Well done, Hever Castle Park and Gardens.
Yeah, I want to be carved, right, completely naked, and with my favourite stick, with a helmet on, and my pet bird looking at me like I've just insulted his mother.
So, John says he saw you hugging a car park attendant.
Well, didn't you
So
see
what
it?
happened?
Who saw that?
No, I
didn't see it. I just got
You
a
saw
message
it?
about it.
No,
No,
no.
none of us have seen it. This may
Jenny
not have
got a
happened.
message from somebody else saying that they saw you.
Hugging the car park attendant.
I said, "You want a hug?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I ran over to him and I hugged him.
Oh,
And then I said, "Thank you, Paul, for your great work."
Oh, poor.
oh, that's
Paul was great.
He was going like this.
He was. What?
I asked whose ear that was.
I don't know. It's just a floor ear. It's just the floor's ear.
Right. Okay. It's not mine. I've got both my ears.
Yeah.
All four, actually, all four.
Oh, it's very warm on the stage because we're basically in a greenhouse. That's the crazy thing about that.
They were counting the rings to guess their age. They thought, why don't we just grow the number of our age on our bark, and then they'll have no need to cut us down
See,
anymore.
I always thought.
Immediately, the cutting of trees increased for their enticing rare numbers carved into their...
I always thought broccoli grew in tiny forests.
It does.
In the sort of from the ground. Yeah,
It does.
No, it's sort of on stalks, then.
It's a forest. It's a little forest.
Little forest.
Yeah,
With little elves.
It is. I'm glad we've established that now.
Oh, fucking hell! Sorry.
Are you alright?
Yeah. I'm totally fine.
I would like the jury to know that even though the nose is black, this is a rabbit and not a dog. I know there has been some confusion.
Oh, was there some confusion?
There was some confusion. My friend thought that Harry was a dog.
What? Sorry.
What?
Sorry, Charles friend.
But he's got. Oh no, the tail isn't on the cape. The tail's on
The
the.
tail's just
There's the
tail
tail.
has never been
Tail's just.
seen.
So it's the tail's just for us.
The tail's emotional, really.
it's just to help Harry's
It
character.
reminds me who I am.
I had a weird moment where I was playing Hippolyta in Midsummer Night's Dream, as well as Titania, but in this particular story, I was playing Hippolyta. This was like the 70th show we'd done. And we do like a big opening sequence, and then I walk up to Theseus and I'm like, I have no idea what my line is. And the guy playing Theseus was like, he could see it in my face that I didn't know what the line was. And I walked up to him and just went, 4 days will quickly steep themselves in, and I was like, my mouth just said the words.
Yes.
But I was like, there was the fear in my body was like, I don't know what the line is. Even though I've been doing this for the last 7 weeks, I don't know what the line is.
So odd, isn't it?
Sometimes that just happens. You'll be doing a show and you know it really well, and you're just like, gone, everything's gone. And that definitely happened to me like twice when we were filming.
Really?
On
You would know
Thursday. And I just kind of like, oh my god, and then you just say the words.
It's like muscle memory. Isn't
It's
it?
so
It's
bizarre.
incredible.
You're just going.
How you feeling?
I love to have fun. I love to be in the sun. I love choosing. I love to do everything. I am not a curmudgeon. I am always in a good mood. And I love food. And I want a turkey as a pet. Turkeys are a national treasure. Turkeys come from Scotland, the county of Turkey. And they fly west for the winter, across the sea, to my hometown of... I'm going on stage. Oh, do you want to know more about the turkeys? I will tell you about them out there. Good afternoon! Hello, everybody!
Under the following remarkable
right as right as right can be, and all is right as right can be. Right as right can be.
After I've done my solo now,
I'd like my current facial expression to be stricken from the
I was
record.
going to say, please enjoy Dan thinking that I'm going to stab him in the eye for approximately 7 minutes.
His object was sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant, on way he represent, a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. Advertising crack who fills with tales of countless cures, its teeth hiding and it shall all be expected by terrified amateurs. The musical singer attends a series of bells and fugues and hops, by Bach interwoven with Shaw and Beethoven on classical Monday pops.
I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name is Willow, Willow, Willow. But 'twas blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh Willow, tit Willow, tit Willow.
The integral process of harvesting the flowers from the camo is a long-standing tradition for the people of Tirwudu.
Yeah, they're just rolling grass out quite fast. That's brilliant. Such a brilliant idea.
We're pretty much done.
Pretty much done.
Isn't that absolutely mad?
I think we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
Every time it happens quicker.
Yes. Like all of the best things.
Like all of the
best things in life.
So we have finished doing the Mikado at Hever Castle, or Hever Festival Theatre, I should say. And it was kind of wonderfully anticlimactic. And I remember I did this exact walk and I made a video for the gondoliers 2 years ago. And I remember, like, it felt like, it was a real triumph to kind of perform here at Hever. And we felt like we kind of got a new, like, recurring date in our company's calendar. And it felt like a proper success. But today it's our third time here. And it's our 7th performance of the Mikado this week and our 9th overall. And it's just, we just did it. We came, we put up the set, and we conquered, as the famous saying goes. And yeah, last time I did this walk, it was in darkness. Today we are not in darkness. We are, in fact, in the light of the dying-ish evening. The evening will be about to die at some point. But isn't that true of everything in this world? But that was, I think, a very good show. And it just goes to show, you can do this. Like, you don't, you might think, oh God, I can't, it's just too many things to do to, like, bring a show to a festival. But it's just many, many little jobs. And if you put your mind to it, you really can achieve anything. I mean, you do need some money. Like, therein lies the rub. But look, if I can do it, if I can do this, I think probably quite a few people can. So don't stop trying to do things.
Do you know what? I saw a psychic once who said that she could see me performing at Hever Castle one day, and I was like, no way, because I was like 23 and I'd quit performing, and I was like, I can never see this happening for me again. Magical.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How see how the fates their gifts a lot.
And I was that psychic.
This car is going extraordinarily slowly.
So slow. What do you want from me?
He's doing. What was the guy called? Paul? Was it Paul?
Yeah, good old Paul.